motivation speaking is necessary, yes, but it is entertainment.
Yeah.
What is your motivational speaking going to do when I
Yeah.
have a mental challenge disturbing me? My
That's
husband is at home shouting.
Yeah.
Mhm. If my husband is at home shouting and you're telling me that I should have courage, I should multiply,
There's
I
no
should
way you're going
invest.
to be this productive. No
Yes.
way.
So I need to first deal with the
Some are
mental
under
issue.
domestic abuse. Some
Yeah.
are. So there's no way unless you deal with their emotions and their. Actually, that one is true. Every team builder or every team building company should have a psychologist, psychiatrist.
Yes. They should have somebody that
to check their
actually,
mental.
yes,
I was
make
thinking
an
even lately
assessment.
that government needs to pay attention. It should be like, is it under gender? Well, it should be under health.
It's under health.
Like it needs
There's
to
a
be
mental health department.
that department should be more than active. Because if you're looking at even now, like I can give example of the police shootings, police killing their wives in barracks, in where the soldiers, these guys, I don't know. They need to, their issues need to be addressed.
Yeah. And I'm telling you that if, say,
These
organizations.
men who are killing wives, I mean, just now they're increasing. And wives
I
killing
mean,
men.
it's been like the status quo, you know. People just have a season to report about them and it becomes still news. Then they start reporting
But it
about
has never stopped.
child beating. Then afterwards they come from child beating. Then it goes to.
By the time you beat your child to pulp,
yes,
there's a problem.
yes. So even families don't even know that the first way to have to prevent your children from getting into problems is using the three keys, which are monitoring, boundaries, and body.
Let's discuss those ones. Monitoring.
Monitoring. You have to know
what extent, where do you draw the line that I'm over monitoring?
Age.
Okay.
Age and responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay? Number one, a child feels secure when they have a protector. It's not that they love you less. Parents seem to think that if I know where they are going, if I know what they are doing, they are going to trust me less. They trust you more because they be like, that is a figure of authority. So if something goes wrong when they have defined you, they'll look for you. It's not going to be about being up to you. But they'll know that if there is chaos here, there is chaos here, where is the safest place to be? We all know it. You'll go to the beater, the one who has beaten you for instance. Because you know, this is a disciplinarian. There is discipline there. But the practical action of it, you don't like it. Why does so and so want to know where I am? You don't like the action, but you like the results.
The results.
So monitoring, you need to know where they are, especially if they're still teenagers. Where are you going? What were you doing? There has got to be accountability. There is no this stories of trust me, I'm grown up. Why are you locking yourself in the room? Why should you lock yourself in the room?
I wanted to talk about that. I know families where the kids lock themselves up.
Yeah, and that is because...
and on the door there is don't open unless I tell you. Don't open without knocking.
That's where problem.
There is a key, please. They are either on video games, they're on phones, they are.
That is because you see usually what one generation doesn't get, they want to give to the next. We hear parents saying that I want to give my children everything I didn't get. And you see in our times, or at least my time, because you might be a lot younger, in my time, the problem was that our parents were monitoring us and giving us boundaries. You don't do this, you don't do that, you don't go here, you don't go there. You see, and they would do those two things very well. So parents of today be like, want to give the children what we didn't get. They are not talking about toys and they are talking about bonding. So you hear parents being proud of the fact that I can talk to my son, he's my buddy, we go out together. So they bond But they have now left out monitoring and boundaries, which is why the chaos is coming out. You see. So when you have bonding boundaries meaning these are not expected. In my house, we don't allow this. And I like to say if you have a son, when you say come let's talk, you're not talking because you want to hear what they're saying. It's not what they say that
It
is the
is
truth.
what
It
you
is
say.
what you observe that is the truth. So my son, come talk to me. He sits in that corner. That's what I used to do with my dad. He sits in that corner. I mean, I sit in that corner, he sits here. And then he talks to me. You know, you shouldn't be joining bad groups. You shouldn't do this. He doesn't know if you're seated next to me, I've smelled what's on me. I will want to look in your eyes and ask, why are you looking at me? You see, there are all those things. Those are boundaries. We don't. If I find you're doing this, there has got to be repercussions. If they say in today's world you're not supposed to beat, or at a certain age of teenagers, you know, you can't beat them, or you shouldn't, or you should avoid it, then you're supposed to find something appropriate to do, ground them, deprive them of something
Yeah,
particular,
deprive it.
whatever it is, but depending on what you want to do. So, bonding, the problem with bonding alone is one. Teenagers, when they are growing, because that's the beginning of understanding, there is the part of the brain which deals with reasoning and judgment. And I want to talk about only the judgment part for now. Judgment is to see what are the repercussions, what will happen after.
Yeah.
What do I get out of it? Funirawa, right? So the judgment part of the brain is still growing. It's just growing from between the ages of 13 and fully matures by 25 years, safe to say it's fully mature. So you see between 21 and 25, that's when it is now being fully cemented. And that's why you'll find a 25-year-old can sit with a 75-year-old and they'll discuss. The only difference is between them is one has experience and the other one doesn't. You see. So what happens with bonding is the child at that time is not using their prefrontal cortex, which is for reasoning and judgment, the judgment particularly as I'm talking about. It is the other part of the brain, I think the amygdala. I don't want, I want to get it right. So what happens with that part is that it deals with instant gratification, and there are certain experiments that were done to show that. Instant gratification is what am I getting out of this? So when I'm with the mom gives me money, she doesn't give me money to be with my birthdays, she doesn't buy me clothes, she doesn't feeds me. Therefore, I have to do things that make mommy happy.
That's true.
When mommy says do this, I'll do it. When I'm with her, what happens when I'm with my friends? Carry my mom. Even last night I told her this because you're getting gratification from your friends. So the child wins, and you say, if what can I do when I'm with my friends? What can I do? I'll give an example. Growing up as a teenager, my neighbor had a very strict staff mother. Mine was always at work, right? And I knew how to dodge her because she was strict, but I knew how to dodge her. You see what I'm saying? So for him, in cases of say, let's go party or whatever, I knew how to go and drink and I knew how to dodge. I knew my mom would come home tired. And therefore, for her, as long as she sees you, she'll ask, have you eaten? If you're happy and you've eaten, she's okay. You haven't caused any chaos today, no problem. So she said, oh, my son is a nice boy. She's praising you. He comes, he go to his room, he's doing his things. She goes to come to my room, she's saying, Bill, I open the book and pretend to read. Could be I'm smelling alcohol and cigarettes, but she will not reach near enough to know. This young man, the moment he enters the door, he enters for the lecture. Where have you been? What have you been doing? Are you with those boys who are smoking, who are drinking? Are you seeing what I'm saying? So he feared when you are with him and you say, let's go for a party. This is what he would say. You guys, you know my mom? Not today. Yeah. Let me wait. And so even us, we knew. So when there was a gap, say the mom is traveling, then that's when you take opportunity and do it. You see, because what he gets out of drinking that day is going to be worse than him pleasing us. That is the problem. So people forget that, but that when you're here seated with your son or daughter, imagining that whatever they're telling their deepest secrets, you cannot compete with your child's age mate in being friends. The child will not tell you fully everything because they don't trust you. After all, you let them go and just free out there. Now, if any harm comes to them, you who is flimsy, you love with them, you fool around with them, they know you will not take them serious if they tell you a serious issue. So they will go and tell their serious issue to someone they trust. You see, because now you might change colors. All of a sudden you come now, you tell them this, and then they start saying, who is that boy? Let's go to their home. Are you seeing what I'm saying? No protection. No, basically, the person is looking at you as, how do I get what I can out of my mother to go and please my friends? So bonding, boundaries, and monitoring. I mean, I usually do have sessions for just simply that one aspect. You can't break it down in 5 minutes.
How do you have these sessions?
Well, for those who feel they want to know, they call me. I've had parents who call me to have a chat with them, and then I have a chat with their children who are growing up as well. To
At what age do you think that you talk to them and they understand about your chats?
No, there is age-appropriate information. Age-appropriate information.
So for 9 years, 10 years?
How you tell them is different. For instance, you would advise the parents more than the 9-year-old because it's the parents' influence that matters most. You tell them how to deal with the child who is a preteen, or you call them twins. You tell them how to observe them. You tell them what are the signs of a person who is going astray, because between the ages of say 6 and I think 12, you rarely find disobedient children when it comes to especially things that really matter. They're disobedient in things like playing, what one play, not overdo it. But when you ask an 11-year-old, usually who hasn't started, can you drink? I cannot. And they mean it. What happens when they become 13? The reasoning part starts growing. Now they are inquisitive. They want to know. Oh, let me try. So all of a sudden, when they start reasoning more on their own, they start going against what the parent is saying. When you're supposed to be enforcing things now is when they start withdrawing. And then now it is good luck. It's gambling with the child's life. Will the person come out right or not? And that is because people are not informed. So some parents sometimes call me, I sit with them for a fee for my time, that's also work, right? We sit, we talk, I give them advice, and they pick it on from there.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't like it when people only call because there is a problem.
No.
You call before there is a problem.
Have to call
in fact, we say that when something seems too good, question it. Why is my child flawless? Don't doubt them, but find out why. Are they really good at keeping things away from me? Why is it that when children grow up, they'll be like, but I wish you cared, I wish you even, you see what I'm saying? And there's a cousin of mine I said, for that one I was overly concerned. I'm like, the way, the connection between you and your daughter is too strong. Is there anything you observe about her that she's perfect? In fact, for her, I trust her so much that she tells me everything. I am like, are you sure? I say, science doesn't agree with that. So when she went and questioned the daughter became angry. She became defensive. She stepped back. And then, in a period of about 1 week, she says, Bill, you have killed my relationship with my daughter. I'm like, if you are really that tight,
that shouldn't happen.
That cannot happen. In fact, she should have started bubbling everything. Instead, she's hiding something. So now she starts pushing away the mom because now the mom will start, so like the investigator has come, she's going to find out. So for her not to find out, keep her out.
It's crazy.
Parents need this talk.
I know.
Especially as and
I am coming for you.
yes, and you see there is also this thing I would say. I was born in Idi Amin's regime. Idi Amin's regime, there was a lot of tension. There was scarcity of product, sugar, salt, soap. People were not comfortable in their own skins. Professionals, for us who are born professionals, guys didn't know what is going to happen next to Bunkenke, if I may call it anytime. They did not have enough time to concentrate on the children. Same as Obote's regime. The ease started coming at the beginning of, this is not political talk, but it started coming when after the 86 generation came in. So the problems of those who were born in after 86 are different from the ones of us who were born Idi Amin and Obote. They are different from the ones who are born before independence. You see what I'm saying? So because of that tension, they couldn't bond with their children because of their own issues. Give boundaries to their children, because not only for that, but even for safety.
Yeah, security.
So the problems that result for every other generation become different.
Now there's a lot of
laxity, entitlement, decision.
Kids are driving parents' cars at 16, 18.
Exactly.
They have pocket money.
So the dynamics change. But we say that observing and knowing these things, and that's why I'm starting myself to interact on Facebook a little bit more by educating people. But of course, people don't want the boring stuff.
Because, like you said, Bill, this generation, it starts with the kids.
Yes.
So that you prevent it from the adult. Because if you're bringing up the kids in the right way, you can actually help you help a lot in the adulthood.
Yeah.
But if you are spoiling them down there, you're not noticing their problem. It's nurturing. Tell me how they're going to consider them.
And there are people who will attack me for even saying that. And they will be like, what are you talking about? It's working for me. I tell people it's okay, you can
never
do the
know
gamble,
when it will work.
but we always say better safe than sorry.
That's true. That one is very important, Bill. I am so glad we talked about it, because apart from, like there are some people, I know many families, many people, this is my empire. I want even my fourth generation to work in this company.
Yes.
But how are you going to get to that fourth generation?
Exactly.
It's not a guarantee.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not a guarantee that I'll be there, then my son will be there. Probably even my son is not at all even either interested or is not even bothered about your company.
Yeah.
For him, he just wants to see the nice cars, he wants to see the nice homes. And
where is milk from the fridge?
Yeah, from the fridge. Exactly. So that would be another topic we're going to tackle.
Yeah.
Raising these kids to get to where they're supposed to be is a very important topic. Trust me, it doesn't only concern us, but many people out there, especially who are suffering with teenage drugged children. University nowadays, even to get a child to university, you're like, when are you, thank God? Even graduation, your parents are crying.
Dynamics have changed. Now there are other things to worry about.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
It's
not even about the tuition.
Yeah.
Everything is there.
Yeah.
But the child.
Technology has also brought issues of its own. People don't know how to balance it. There's nothing we can. Like about 5 years, about 5 years ago, 5 years ago, we were discussing with Bades, saying that, my child cannot get a phone until they are, I don't know, in senior 6 or senior 1.
But now kids have phones.
Now, listen, you see, the thing is the phone companies are not sleeping. They are making them necessary for the child. So now they are cutting
They come in
Exactly.
tabs.
Now it is you have to go to school with one. So what are you saying? They want
And
you.
edit tabs come as long as you access Wi-Fi. That's it.
That's it. You see. So basically, you're saying that now the conversation has changed.
My
It's
friend
no
was
longer.
telling me that this PS4s or PS whatever,
Mm.
kids will communicate on them.
Yeah,
You
I'm
can
telling you.
actually text and receive a message on a PS, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yes.
Like, I swear, Sandra,
And
kids
I
make
found my
proggy.
kids.
You've kept your phones away. The kids make proggy on PS.
Yeah.
They play you down, and they're out.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I found on my TV here, I found guys. I was talking about my page, and they were like, "Yes, Daddy, we've seen it on TV." They have found Facebook on the TV. I'm like, you mean I've actually brought it here? You see, but where are you going? Are you going to now go and buy a box TV because
it's a Wi-Fi TV?
Yeah. So
properly.
Yes.
If
So
you leave your
basically,
things there, then it's a done deal.
yeah.
You think you're blocked on phone?
So the thing is, we have to adapt. Now that conversation of they are not going to get this for this time or this, it has to change. The approaches have.
Come on, that is still my approach.
Everything has. Now it is to know how do I deal with it. Because it's like saying, even in my recovery homes here, you see, in my recovery home here, they are some allowed to go to work or to go to school to have phones, while those who are newcomers cannot because they have to first they have to first settle down here
and
about probation. It doesn't mean that they cannot access the phone. They can actually access the phone, but it is that when you're accessing it, there is a difference. What are you accessing it for? And when it is personalized, there is also information that you keep for yourself. If it is somebody else's, there's some information that you cannot completely have. So phone numbers, maybe you have to write them somewhere, but information is there. So we say that if you don't give your child, they are still going to access. So it is like this. If you are going to give it to them, you have got to enforce the bonding, the boundaries, and the monitoring. Don't ever be deceived that when you tell your child this does not happen on my tablet,
they will not do it.
They will do it, but my
That's
father
what I'm
said,
saying. That
there's a time.
You don't assume they won't.
Yes.
They will do it.
There's a time my father said, I expected to be, because my dad, I mean, people feared him.
I feared him. He was so quiet.
Yes. Now, one day, we were in trouble. We had slept in some disco. We came back, because we are young, we don't have money for special hire. So we came back at around 7 in the morning by taxi. So my dad, the neighborhood was set. They wanted action, and they knew my dad was the hardest man there. So he was the guy everyone would see man scatter. So they brought some of these other guys to our home for punishment. And my dad just told them what he said, you see, when we tell our children, when we say no to our children, we are not expecting them not to do it, but we are reducing the occurrences. And one of the neighbors got so angry. Your dad is spoiling them. We even thought you were. But that was the truth. But what happens is when you say no, it doesn't mean a person won't. It simply means we are reducing. Yeah.
Every time they try to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's another topic. For kids, I'll definitely come for that one because you're actually preventing the problem.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's better safe than sorry. So if we need productivity in these our programs, or what we're trying to get people out of poverty, we need to help them from that tender age. Because actually what you're talking about, I've seen homes where kids are so productive at an early age.
Yes.
There's a friend I follow on Facebook. She's a friend of mine, my OG. She's called Grace Woods. I really admire the way how she's training her kids. She takes them to the gardens. They plant their own. Plants like, let's say, green pepper. Then they sell. That is killing a child's time. Who will not start thinking about or this party that is in Kololo, maybe my friends are going to the UK, maybe I need this PS over 10 over 20. So they are busy. You keep them busy and productive.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Grace at some point, even if she's chilling, her kids will be taking more. The ones in the goats and others. But most of us, we go for these things, we leave the kids behind, they're on phone, they're on TV, we don't know what they're watching. And then you ask yourself, so how are they going to take over the empire? This empire that I'm putting up. If I'm not bringing them up to do it, how do I expect to bring them in at 30 years? So it's very important. Now, what is the closing remarks for this, like the whole topic of productivity
Okay.
vis-a-vis abuse, alcohol abuse, mental health?
Mental health.
Yeah.
So it is very important, especially for people who want to get the best out of what they are doing, to consider their mental health first. I like to say that at the beginning of every year, like we have ending of every year, at the beginning of every year or end of every year, every company, every organization, every individual needs to make an assessment of their farm, of their home, of their lives, because that assessment actually helps you become more productive. Know the mental state of the people you're with. Don't just take things for granted. When a person starts abusing drugs or alcohol or behaving in ways that are not the normal for you, they have changed. They are angry, they are resigned, they are keeping to themselves. It is usually an indicator of something deeper. If the people in your workplace are mentally stable, their mental health is good, if I may put it, that's what I'm saying. It's like saying if your physical health is good, then you'll get people who work better.
Yeah.
And you'll find that most big companies, global companies, they talk about the happiness of a person. If the person, you have a happy worker, then you get a happy return. If the person is happy at work and happy at home, you get double the returns. So it is my advice, it is my humble advice, and I hope a few of you will take it seriously, that every year, call me, call my colleagues, whatever is relevant for you, find out why things are not going the way they should, make an assessment of your employees and yourself, the employer, and then we'll give you advice on what to do. When you do that, you'll sign me a check later. You'll thank me later. But yeah, that's the advice I give. Everybody should know the state of their mental health. I can be reached both by WhatsApp, by Facebook, Instagram. On Facebook, I'm at Bill Bekunda. Uh, Instagram, Bill Bekunda and Bekunda World. My page is Bekunda Recovery Homes on Facebook. You can get me on WhatsApp at +256 782 031223.
Thank you, Bill. To add on to that, I think it's also important for those that own companies. I mean, you have 2 or 3 companies. I mean, 2 or 3 employees. It's even sometimes even workers. As long as you have people you move with and you work with, you need to really be sure about their mental abilities. Because, like you said, sorry, it affects the outcome of the work. So, if you're team building, if you're going for a retreat, but you don't know, I mean, you're training me to be better at work, but the problem may not actually be me. It may not actually be my capacity or let's say, how I can handle it. The problem is bigger than me. So if you want to find out what my problem is, I think it's better you bring in professionals who can ascertain that, these guys, no, you're not performing badly as a company because these guys are not able to. No, it's because of the following reasons. Maybe some have domestic violence, some have depression, some have sick children, some the salaries are not enough, so they are juggling with life day after day after day. And how are you going to bring these people on board and do something for you? So it comes to schools because there's a lot of mental health in schools. I've seen kids commit suicide, and I'm like, a child. I as in Kabale recently, and a girl threw herself in the lake, Bunyoni. And the girl came from, I don't know, as far as where, went all the way to Bunyoni and drowned. I tried to get into her mind. She has no, she didn't have children, she didn't have a husband. Like, what problems did this child have of 18 years to kill themselves? So that shows that even in schools, it is needed. You need to, we need to pay attention to these things seriously because a person like that, how will this person go beyond S4, S5, S6 up to campus if they're already starting to feel like they can commit suicide? And where does even suicide start from? And she was so smart. And she laid her ID. She even drowned herself in uniform. She left her ID on a tree and her details, her information, and she went and it really bothered me so much because I was like, this girl had so much to live for. What could have caused this? So it is important that we are aware that these things are going on in our society and they need to be addressed, and help is there. It's not like it's foreign, you need to go to India, you need to go. No, it's around. It's around. People are here to talk to you. Bill is here. You have children out there. I know my viewers. You have kids. You work so hard, but you reach a point and like, I'm working hard for who? Because you look at the kids and you start realizing they might not be the people to live in your hard earned money. I know a friend of mine who I believe died of depression because his kids left. He had an empire, he had a lot of stuff here. And when he fell sick, he went to the UK to call his children to come and take up his to come and take up the company. And the children refused to come back. 3 books. They're married in the UK, they're banging chair, they're happy about it. And he had so much property here. Ever since that trip, it didn't take like 3 months, he died. He died in his bed, sleeping. But I think he slipped into depression and disappointment and pain. And because he was already sick, but it was a sickness that could be sustained, but they had asked him to go slow on work. So he went to call his children, please come and help me take it out. They jumped. As I speak, other foreigners are taking to other people took over. And these kids are still in the UK. So we need her. Those challenges, those are lessons, lifetime lessons, but this can be avoided at an early stage. So we need to help our people. We need to also help ourselves. Bill is here. I'm sure you have confidentiality clauses and all that because some people are like, what if I tell Bill and Bill tells her that? And they're like, and they're scared. Yeah, Bill should know that I am a drunkard. Why? Bill can tell him my marital issues. Come and tell Bill instead of dying. You come and tell Bill, or Bill has a group of people he works with. If you don't trust him, you can trust the other people. And let us find help so that we have a brighter future, better generation to come, and better life with productivity. I mean, productivity is life, is good life. When you're doing well, life gets better. So let's help ourselves. Um, I hope you've picked so much like I have, and I hope that we are going to react immediately. Like Bill said, his phone should be off the hook with people, and it's okay. Bill, my son, Bill, my sister, Bill, my me. It is okay, and you get the help that you need. About the money, Bill, you discuss with him. I'm sure it is doable at some point. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for keeping up this long because I want to play this video without editing because everything makes sense. Please make sure you watch this video, all of it. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for following us. Please don't forget to subscribe for those who have not subscribed and share these videos because these are life-changing messages that you will not find in many places, but you've got the opportunity. Please share with the rest and let's change our lives. Let's change the world. Thank you, Serena, for sponsoring us. Thank you for always paying attention to our needs. We love you and take care of yourselves and bye.